So we're here at the 2020 Railroad Hobby Show, and once again, thank the All-American Trains viewers for tuning in. Want to show you one of our new cars. It's really hot. This has been probably one of our top 3 selling freight cars, and that is the Gunderson Multi-Max Auto Rack. 2 different versions of this car. This one, of course, is the operator version. You'll notice the operator car has plastic panels on the sides and no door rods on the ends. We sell a separate kit for that. As you look at the underside of the car, you'll notice the brake plumbing has been simplified quite a bit. But the idea here is a freight car that in U.S. dollars will sell for around $45 U.S. So on an auto rack, that's a very inexpensive auto rack. Of course, with Germany, you'll have the normal shipping and the taxes and duties. And then, of course, with the rivet counter car, we really step up the game. Of course, etch metal panels. One thing I want to point out about this car, a lot of folks ask us about the see-through panels. This car is what's called an anti-graffiti, anti-vandalism car. The holes are much smaller than a traditional auto rack, so you really have to be in the right position with the sunlight shining through to even be able to see inside the car. The other thing we get asked a lot are, do the doors open? These cars have a different type of door. The original doors on the auto cars, they were clamshell. These are more of a bifold door, and to be able to make that particular hinge on that would be a much oversized hinge. So since this car can't be seen through anyway, we decided to go ahead and the doors do not open. The great thing about the rivet counter car, it's got all of the detail you would have come to expect. The car here is a late car. You can tell because of the stirrup steps on the end. The early cars are going to have a grab iron. Also with the late car, you've got a stepped door type. The early cars have an angled door type. A couple of different sizes of ladders. You got a short and a tall. As we look at like the brake rigging underneath, you'll notice all the brake plumbing is there. The late cars have the, I'm sorry if I flip it over, you'll notice how the hinges the brackets are on the outside of the car. The earlier cars have brackets on the insides. We've actually tooled 4 different bodies. You'll see on the car side here, the bolt patterns. There's both a tri-level and a bi-level bolt pattern, and then different other small variations between the 2 levels of cars. A ton of different road names on this car. And the rivet counter brand in U.S., you're looking at about $75, so still a great value when you consider you're getting etch metal panels and all the extra plastic detail parts, the metal detail parts. A lot of different road names available. Looking for delivery on these in the middle to late part of the summer 2020. Welcome to the 2020 Railroad Hobby Show here in West Springfield, Massachusetts. I'm Shane with ScaleTrains.com, and as always, we appreciate the All-American Trains viewers tuning in to see what we have new. And of course, here we always announce a new model or 2, and this year we have the Trinity Pullman Standard Backpacker 5-unit well car set. Of course, the wells are all die-cast metal, so they're very heavy. You've got all the detail parts you've come to expect from the rivet counter brand with see-through walkways, the Celcon grab iron or the handrails. You got metal grab irons and all of the other plumbing parts. And then, of course, to go along with the well car, we've announced a new 40-foot container. The neat thing about the 40-foot container, it's a little different than what's been out there. It actually has logo panels on the side. So the car itself in this particular paint scheme is good from the mid-'80s going into the early 2000s. And then the container is going to be anywhere from about the late 70s into the late 90s, early 2000s. We'll have more paint schemes in the future because these cars actually still run today. And if you look, you'll notice, well, it looks a lot like a Gunderson car. One thing you'll notice is the Gunderson wells are a little bit taller, the sill is. These cars are a little bit shorter, so they're visually distinctive in your intermodal train. So we thank you for joining us at the 2020 Railroad Hobby Show. Until next time, thanks so much for your business.